Welcome back, guys. So today I'm gonna get into installing these Ktuned heater hoses. They go to the heater bypass from the water outlet, and the bypass tube that goes to the thermostat housing. These connect at the heater core at the firewall. I also have to cut a section out to add in the heater control valve. That's going to be a little bit of a pain because it's all about direction and how far you distance it from the firewall so that the cable is actually pulling it correctly. If not, every time you switch from heat or defrost, it gets stuck while pulling it on the climate control. That's not fun. It's a pain in the ass. But let's see where we can get from there, and hopefully it turns out to be a pretty good. Okay, so first issue I run into is those are tight on the heater core like they're supposed to be. Well, obviously this doesn't meet that. With the heater bypass valve, it will, but the problem is the diameter here is a lot bigger than what this 5/8 is. This one is perfect for the one that goes from the tube all the way to the thermostat, so that's not a problem on the housing. But I might have to do is chop like somewhere around here and do like a regular hose to my heater core, or heater valve I should say, on the opposite end of it. But other than that, it looks pretty good, I guess. All right, guys, so I didn't really record this install much, but I mean, I can show you the work that I've done so far. I've got an OEM thermostat housing. I installed it with the brand new O-ring for the water tube that I was talking about. And I modified a lot of the brackets because the Z3 brackets, they bolt up to the old existing OEM water housing. So I had to do a little bit of modifying. Also, I'll include in the pictures, but this tube would come all the way out here and would be too far from the head. So what I did was, as you can see, there's some heat on here. I heat this up with some MAP gas and bent it in by hand, and got it as flush as possible so it's out of the way of anything that I need to run this way, maybe the turbo, anything that I need to get to. I know the wastegate's going to be around here, so I'm going to have to get some heat tape for this silicone hoses, even though they're like maybe quad ply or whatever the case may be. But I didn't like to do this, but I bought these hoses not knowing, because there wasn't a description on them, and I should have done more research, but this was for the RSX. It has to have a 3/4 fitting. When I bought this housing, it was for Z3, obviously. So it came with I want to say 5/8 fitting for the hose, and on the RSX, it's a 3/4 hose. So I had to buy a new fitting, sourced it off of Jegs. It's a barb fitting, and I was able to fit it. I only had to extend it with a brass barb, like a Daco brass barb. I didn't like to do it, but this doesn't corrode, doesn't rot, doesn't anything like that. So just extend it to get the length, because this is 3/4 here, but the rest of the hose is 5/8. So whatever, or actually it's 3/4 right here as well. It's 5/8 down here, but the hose is molded and it just goes down smaller as it goes. But this was able to go to the heater core. I mounted this to the heater core, took the bracket off for the heater control. It works perfectly now. In order for this cable to work, I hit up my buddy Chris. Thank you, Chris. I'll drop his Instagram in here too as well. Give him a follow. He's another YouTube channel too as well. So follow his Instagram and YouTube. But I hit him up. I asked him what he did for his on his EK, even though they're a lot different. You just zip tie the cable so the cable holds the outside, so the actual cable on the inside of the outer housing can move in and out when you're selecting from heat to cold on your climate control. So that's perfect. I wanted it sideways so that way it's out of the way, it's not hitting anything, and the valve can move freely. And I think it's pretty clean if you look at it from the top. Let's see. And it's kind of out of the way, so when I put the manifold, all I need to do is get either heat tape or some fiberglass wrap, go around it so that it's not anything that's gonna be full of heat from the turbo housing or downpipe or wastegate dome tube is not going to get there. But I also got a cap. The cap for these housings is a 88th or 91 Honda Civic or 90th or 93 Integra. They're the same thing, but I just bought one for 90 Integra, and that's perfect. What I'm thinking is I'm going to go ahead and block off this port. Just put the plug that it comes with from his kit as well. Plug this off so that way I don't have any coolant coming from here, because when I put the radiator in, it already has one as well. So then I'm going to just run it all the way over to here. And if I could fit my coolant tank that Goalie Fab had built me, I'll put it right there. And I want AC, so I'm trying to keep this area designated for my compressor. And I'm gonna get a kit from some guy on Instagram. His name is, I think it's DC5 something, I forgot, but as soon as I remember, I'll plug him in as well. He's got a kit. It's pretty nice. It comes with everything retrofit. It comes with the condenser, I think the only thing it doesn't come with is a slim fan, or maybe it does. I'm not sure. I got to read over it, but it comes with all the fittings from firewall all the way through here. All you have to do is buy, I think it's a slim fan and a dryer can right there, and just wire it up. And since I have the factory fans and everything else, I just need to go through putting my AC stuff back. Since I didn't eliminate or cut any of that stuff, it should work like factory. Also for the fan, I have a Ktuned radiator for an EG. I'm gonna do is run a B series fan switch, which will go at the bottom of the radiator. I want to put near the bottom hose, and it's gonna kick my fans on. I did that style because that's how the RSX is, and all I have to do is change the pigtail on the RSX harness for the fan, and it'll run a B series one. My K conversion harness is already wired for it, so that I don't have to do any cutting, I don't have to do any repinning, I don't have to do a relay. That's the beauty of finding somebody who can actually do a wire harness without cutting, hacking, just doing half-ass jobs just real quick to make a buck. CJ's wiring, he's really good. He's the one who did my K conversion harness, and I'm gonna run an OEM 05, 06 RSX Type S engine harness, so that'll be pretty good. Soon I'll be running my JB Tuned full fuel setup. It'll be feed line and return. I'm not sure if I want to go over the rack and then on the passenger shock tower. That's why I'm kind of like iffy. I might put it back there where the fuel pressure regulator is at. Problem is, I don't want my regulator near anything that's like the turbo manifold or the heat, or anything that's heat related. Honestly, I would like to get it more forward in front of the engine, because if it starts leaking, I can't smell it, or it starts burning, it can ignite. I mean, it could do it in any car, whether it had the manifold in the front, just like B series, D series. I don't know. It just maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'll put it right here, but then the turbo will be right there, so I'll have to go straight over. I kind of hate too much going on, because my rail has two different fittings. I can put one going onto this side from here for the feed, and the return I can just go under the intake manifold and back that way around, so it's out of the way and it's clean. But so far, I'm liking the way it's turning out. My bay's dirty. Everybody likes to comment on that. I don't care. If you want to come and clean it, clean it. It's pointless, because when you're working on something, it gets dirty again, and there's no point of detailing a bay. Obviously, this car is a 2000, and you can see it really shines when it's clean. Obviously, it's really dusty, but I could literally just go in there with a mini DA and clean up all that with the compound to get all that extra dirt out of it, and it'll shine up like this, like I did on the rest of this body. I mean, you can see it's just really dirty from pulling a swap. And not only did I pull the swap, I mean, I had a turbo set up and everything else, and the problem is that gets this bay really dirty, like the back of this is all like tarnished and yellow and oily, it looks like, is from oil catch cans. Oil catch cans, they vent to atmosphere, VTA, and it comes out the filters, and it's a mist that comes all over the place, because it's crankcase pressure that builds up and comes through those like your valve cover bungs that you run them into a can. Well, all that's coming from the bottom of the engine all the way up, has to vent somewhere. It comes out, goes in that can. The can has two filters, and then the pressure goes up. So a mist comes out of that filter. Most of it stays inside, like condensation and the heat that is building in that engine, because it's venting the atmosphere, so it could be colder on the outside, or than what is actually coming out. So that's how it gets condensation and stuff. But to get to the point, it comes out of the filter and it just makes everything nasty. So I'm not too worried, honestly. I'm dressing it because it's a constant, oh, clean your bay, shut the fuck up. That's how it works, pretty much. But yeah, I will definitely clean the base sometime, but until then, I really don't see it being a thing to do, even though my engine's clean, everything's nice. My powder coating guy, if you ever want to hit somebody up, as long as he's not busy or doesn't have extra work, he can get your stuff done in a timely manner. You can hit him up. He's FPC Coatings, and I think it's NFLES. It's NFLES 400 on IG. I'll plug him in as well. He did all my powder coating stuff on my car. It's phenomenal work, just getting, because he has so much work lined up ahead of him that it gets hard to get stuff done in a timely manner. But sometimes he can. It's just, you got to catch him at the right time, because he does do really big jobs, industrial jobs for like companies, and he does it for the city and the state. So he's not only doing car parts, he's also doing like a lot bigger things that you can imagine inside a huge oven. But yeah, definitely hit him up. He'll get you done. This pretty much wraps that up for the install. I was just doing the heater hoses, water outlet, and all that stuff, but I think it came out pretty good. One thing at a time. I'll do some more uploads. If you guys want to see some in particular, just let me know. Appreciate your time, guys. Later.